Okay, and we'll go to speaker view. So, Debbie, take it away.
Serious. Oh, John, you devil. You know what?
Yeah.
I if I fall off, it's because I've been having some internet issues or computer issues. I'm not sure which today, but anyway, this was the most amazing convention because this company has, first of all, they treated us like kings and queens. We were absolutely, they covered everything. You didn't need your wallet for anything, which is very unusual for a convention. And I think probably what is most important are some of the just new things coming. Is that kind of what we want to cover? Is that what you had in mind, John?
Sure. For the people that weren't there, they were going to want to know about the stem cell release products. They're going to want to know about Emulin C and some of the food products that Dr. Regen had spoken about. And we had obviously a chance to meet Dr. Stefano Scoglio from Italy, who has also been nominated for a Nobel Prize just recently for his work with the microalgae in Klamath Lake, Oregon, which will be the basis of our amazing new Klamax, Klamax product. And so people are going to want to know more about that. And obviously, Dr. Arens spoke at length about the Emulin E, the changes that were made, and the fact that we're not going to have any confusion now chasing down either C or M for various conditions. E is for everybody. Eventually, it'll also be the foundation for Emulin B, which will be the brain product, and that'll be very exciting for anybody that's concerned about the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's. So yeah, people are going to want to know about those products. They didn't make tremendous substantial changes in the compensation plan. There was just one or two little enhancements that were put in that really won't mean very much to anybody just yet. But overall, like you say, we were treated royally. We never had to take out our wallet for anything. All the meals were covered. The liquor was covered. For those that wanted to drink, there was, there's great atmosphere, good music, terrific production values. They hired very, very good people to stage the whole event. For a brand new company, first year out, it was beyond expectations. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. What I thought was really interesting is when, at the end, when Dr. Regen said he wanted to kind of sum up how pleased he was with the convention, and all told, he said he was 65% pleased, and everybody was a little surprised by that. But what he said was, if we said we were 100% pleased, then we've got no room for improvement.
Right.
And so it's going to get better and better. I thought that was kind of an interesting note to end on. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want me to start with something?
Well, why don't you share the excitement that so many people felt with the demonstration for the skin process with the wand that Dr. Scolio's assistant performed on two women, and some of the conditions that he described, having had specific clinical tests about with the oral product. So, yeah, just spend a little time on the stem cell product, which is coming in January.
There are, it was a little confusing. Sometimes he was talking about a trade name with, about the ingredient. Sometimes he was calling it kind of the generic, but basically that what he demonstrated, or what his assistant demonstrated, was a product that's applied topically to the skin. It was sort of a greenish colored product, and it was applied to the skin, and then a device called a transdermino, registered name for this little handheld device with, it looked like kind of four little heads in the top, that put in some kind of an electric or ultrasound type of thing that actually opens up they're called water channels, opens up the channels so that things can actually, larger molecules can actually get into the skin. So certain conditions are going to be improved just by putting it on topically. But when you can drive it in deeper with the, with this little device, It just kind of helps to tighten everything up. Break down the scar tissue is going to be another use for this. There's kind of a few categories that he commented on. Aesthetically, wrinkles, cellulitis, stretch marks, age spot, skin tonification, breast volume, and anti-aging were just some of them. Dermatological, there's eczema, psoriasis, wounds, ulcers, and keloids. Metabolically, there's adiposity, which is a really nice word for fat, having too much fat, waist and leg circumference. And then muscles, so lesions, strains, and muscle tone, that type of thing. I was able to capture some slides from his presentation, and that was easier than trying to scramble to get notes. So I was just kind of reading some of those indications. And he did a lady's face. He did half of her face. Just his assistant brushed on this product and then used the wand. And it wasn't just like a 5-second thing. She used the wand for, what would you say, 10 minutes, John, 15 minutes?
Oh yeah, a good 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah.
So, you know, it is going to take time, but obviously nothing good happens very quickly.
Sure.
And then there was the texture of her skin was much nicer, and there was some tightening. You could see a comparison in some of the you know, the landmarks on her skin. Mm-hmm. And then they did a lady with the, you know, the arm.
Dragging arm.
My video is here, but the arm, yeah, the kind of the bat wings they call it, where you hold your arms out and you've got this wing flapping back and forth. Some of us have more than others. And they did one side of that, and again, just painting the product on and then applying the wand over and over and over for, again, a good 15 minutes. And she stood up and both her arms out, and there was a tightening in the other side. So that was with one treatment. He also showed slides of things that were like 3 or 4 treatments, ulcerative healing, like on the skin surface things. He showed X-rays of a calcification in a shoulder joint, almost looked like a little bone spur, and that was a little harder to see. But in the end X-rays, you know, that was gone. Mm-hmm. And so the implications for this, I think, are going to be huge. Yeah, I think I've pretty well covered all the things. I'm just looking at his slides to see if there's any other conditions that he mentioned. But and then you know, that was on the Friday, and then on the Saturday we actually got Dr. Stefano talking more about the actual internal product. And that has me super excited because, I mean, he went through the science of everything, and I'm not going to try and go through all of that, but basically our Climax is comprised of phycocyanins, which are from the algae, but our algae is, or the algae that comes from Klamath Lake has this extra purple pigment, which most of them don't have. And so a combination of that and phenylethylamine, which he just calls PEA, those two ingredients are what make up the Klamath product. And he had a lot of studies. He had a lot of things he had to flip through because he had a lot of very detailed information that we weren't always, you know, able to get it all, because unfortunately his talk was quite long and he was trying to fit it into a shorter amount of time than he really had time for. But he has 8 publicly published studies on various things, and he went through kind of an overview of some of them. One of them was for depression. That was one of the things that he talked about a little bit. Another one, because of each of the ingredients kind of has some different properties, but the PEA, some of the specifics that it has is weight loss, an aid in weight loss strategies, plus improving the production of dopamine. And dopamine is sort of, I mean, it's the precursor of serotonin, which is for depression, so that's part of the reason it works there. and it's also kind of your satisfaction
Your
chemical.
your joy chemical.
Yeah, the joy chemical.
Mm-hmm.
And just reading the slides here, and another study that they did was on ADHD, and I think that one is being either that one or one on autism that is funded by the Italian government. So this is pretty big that they're actually getting behind him with funding for these products. Another one he talked about was brain erythropoietin, and that is erythropoietin is what the body produces when there's an injury, like a brain injury or a lesion in the brain. And there are always little lesions in the brain going on all the time, but major injuries require a lot of this erythropoietin to heal. And so they're calling that the fountain of youth, cerebral EPO. It basically, it says it fixes brain injuries after a stroke and fixes brain microlesions that have accumulated daily, that we encounter daily, and contribute to neuroaging and neurodegeneration. Well, neurodegeneration is pretty much everything in the mental health. So depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, all of those things are all just, different names for similar conditions, but all affecting the brain and memory. Alzheimer's and memory, I think, is another one of his published studies. So, it's got a lot of credibility as far as, he has the scientifically, the published studies. And so I think, I was just blown away when he kept going over detail after detail about what this, is actually capable of doing in the body. And because of the mechanism of action, you can expand that out into a whole lot of conditions. You can say it's both, the Climax product is both a neuronal and a somatic cell regenerator, which means brain and nerve tissue as well as body cell tissue. So when you look at pretty much everything, sports injuries, anything that is a degeneration that needs fixing, whether it be injury or old age, this is just going to help. I think it's like Emulant. Everybody needs this too if they want to maintain a healthy, youthful body.
So yeah, no, one of the questions that was asked is, does the product cross the blood-brain barrier? And he was able to explain that the molecular level was so small that it had no trouble crossing through the blood-brain barrier, which is the key to having anything have any effect on nervous tissue regeneration in the brain. And comments about that. Now, I know that myself and Dory and Jana, when we were in San Diego about
your mic is cutting out, John. We can't hear you now. You must have hit something. I heard static, and now we can't hear your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So about 2 months ago, Dory and Jana and I were in San Diego with Dr. Eugene, and he had a little bit of a sample of the oral stem cell product. It tasted terrific. It was blue in color. He gave us a tiny little dosage, probably less than a third of what a person would take on at any given time. And about 2 hours later, all of us independently noted that we could read better. So we could take our reading glasses off, and instead of having the phone at a distance of 6 inches, we could have it out at a foot or 18 inches and read clearly. And, it was pretty shocking. We're all in our 50s and 60s, and literally within 2 hours, it made an improvement in our visual field. So with Dr. Rajen then piped in and said, look, I take it every day, so I know what this is doing. And so that will be a very interesting product to add to our inventory. And what's interesting too is that they've priced it in such a way that it will be the same as the Emulin. It'll be still 40 BV for a supply. You can, and you can exchange it for Emulin for an auto ship, or you can have both depending on your particular requirements. So they're trying to keep all the new products in that same category of about $79.95 retail and 40 BV in order to make it a very simple compensation plan for customers. So that's the stem cell. What about Emulin E? Do you want to speak about that? Now, Jim, do you want to say anything about any of this? Because you were there as well. Do you want to add to anything on the stem cell? You can unmute yourself if you want. Jim?
Yeah, I was just playing with the mic. I couldn't get it off on the one spot. I got it back.
We hear you fine.
Okay, the one big seller that I think from the topical that was mentioned is that removal of spider veins and varicose veins.
Oh, yeah, right.
Because there's a fair amount of that generation, right?
Yeah.
Not that I'm there yet, but
Of course not.
Of course not.
But at any rate, and the then the sports injury recovery time that he was saying with the topical as well, because it opens up and generates repair much faster. So that was all good. I really did get the impression, because I got fortunate enough to catch him aside, which I'm sure all of us that are going to these conventions regularly know how to do. And he had a ton more stuff than what we got to say there. I think when time comes, our learning curve is going to be large but exciting. Yeah.
Okay, sounds great. What about David Nelson? David, do you want to pipe in at all about the stem cell at all? David, are you there? Maybe not. Okay, so Debbie, let's shift on to the next topic, which is the Emulin E.
Just one thing at the end of the overall presentation on the stem cell, I've got in very big letters in my notes, there's no competition out here for what we have. This goes above and beyond the other stem cell products, and there's actually some, I won't get into the other competitive things there, but he's the one that has the patent. And
yeah, just to jump on that point, he made clear to tell us that he was about to launch legal action against the two companies that are currently harvesting some of this microalgae in the same lake, a company by the name of StemTech and another company by the name of Cerule, Cerule. And so that's very, very interesting that they're not going to do very well once that they are under attack legally for abuse of his patents. So that's very.
John,
yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I'm on now. One
Good.
thing I picked up is the richness and the source of this material from the Klamath Lakes, and they found that it's a very alkaline river coming out of there, and knowing what the geological time frame of how this was formed, that the volcanic ash leaves tremendous amount of rich trace minerals that are so powerful that there's minerals that we don't even know that are found in this lake. And so the power of this, I can see why this is so effective.
Okay.
And it's just a powerful nutrient.
Yeah, no, the actual volcano that created Klamath Lake took place 7,700 years ago. It left a very, very deep impression in the mountain, which got filled up with water. But at the bottom of it, there's about 10 meters, almost 30 to 40 feet of volcanic deposits that, of course, are permeating the water above and providing the nutrients for this unique microalgae. Now, the other thing about it, of course, is it freezes during the winter. The lake freezes over, and so the microalgae, which is under the water, is forced to create omega-3, so that's another aspect of why this product is so rich, is that it has a very high concentration of omega-3, which is the good omegas oil. So that, that's one of the reasons the product has all these beneficial effects.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to Emulin C and Dr. Arend's and Dr. Rajen's explanation of what they're doing there. And some of us have some samples. If you were at the convention, you were able to get a few bottles into your hands of the vitamin of the Emulin E, and it comes in a plastic bottle, not a glass bottle. It's 80 capsules per bottle, and the dosage is 2 per day, so it's a 40-day supply, just like the Emulin M and C had been, with 120 capsules taken 3 times a day. It's still a 40-day supply. So that hasn't changed. The pricing is still the same, but it's got gallic acid. They've taken away the aluminum filling agent, which was a problem for some people. They've taken any potential conflict for some people that are susceptible to caffeine. They've gone away from the coffee bean to extract the chlorogenic acid. Rather, they're taking it from the green tea bean now, or the green tea leaves now. So they made some changes, and they've added the gallic acid, which is a major anti-inflammatory, and it has a very high ORAC score. Now, ORAC is a score that is used to measure the effectiveness of the antioxidants in any kind of a flavonoid. So a high ORAC score is a very good thing to have. So this has very, very high ORAC score. Anything else that you picked up on that, Debbie?
Yeah, something else I just wanted to mention. Emulin M and C never did have any caffeine in it. So people saw the word green coffee bean and they thought, oh, caffeine, I can't take it. No, it was only the source of chlorogenic acid, nothing to do with caffeine, and that required explanation a lot of times for people. So just so that people didn't have to worry about that, they actually changed the source. Right. So sometimes, like Dr. Rajen said, people were asking him over and over and over different things, and really none of them, were necessary questions. It was, if you have blood sugar issues, it's C, and it's still, for those who still have the product, if you don't have blood sugar issues, it's M. So it's not like they got away from anything bad to change the formula. They've just improved it and eliminated some of the questions and maybe some of the things that people didn't really understand about it. So they've just simplified it and improved it, because the gallic acid is an extremely strong antioxidant, an anti-inflammatory, rather, more so anti-inflammatory. So it's just adding to the joint pain and stiffness component that this has been able to help people with so much.
So an email just came across my computer screen right now from Dr. Rajen, just this very second, thanking all the staff and all the people for all the work they did to make sure that the convention came off flawlessly, that everybody was well cared for, that all the food services were, provided on time, and actually delicious food, actually. And so anyway, he just wanted to thank all the volunteers and the members of the Gara group, Costa Gara's group that actually ran the whole event, all the AV people, et cetera, and all the staff that came from Malaysia. Quite an undertaking for a brand new company. They put in close to $300,000 into this event. It would have been great if there had been more of us there, but first conventions being what they are, you take your best shot. We had about 350 odd people there, and the people that were there really got a lot of benefits from it. And we're just trying to share with the rest of our team some of the highlights. So the Emulin E will be shipping probably in the first quarter, just like the stem cell product. Also in the first quarter, it's very likely that we will also start seeing some rumblings about the brain product. And very soon after that, there'll be something about the sheepskin, or not the sheep collagen product. And in between, there's mention of the protein drink, which will not be based on whey or soy, rather on the best protein source, which is the pea protein. And then the same thing with a protein bar. So those are going to come into the mix. They told us about this amazing white bread that's a low glycemic white bread that they have developed through Holista, and we'll probably be marketing that. It may not be in the network marketing compensation plan because there's very little margin in food products such as bread, etc. It would be just basically as a direct sale item where we can make some commissions on that. And he also showed us some amazing work they're doing with noodles. Who knew that noodles were a greater use of wheat in the world than bread? But all of Asia, think about every aspect of Asia and Africa and things like that, they eat more noodles than they eat bread. And, obviously I don't, but, that's the truth about the world. So we're going to have some kind of a noodle, low glycemic noodle product at sometime in the future as well. And that's just the beginning of the products that we will, have a chance to market through this vehicle. So do you want to say anything more about the products? We can move on to some back office and service enhancements. Debbie?
Yeah, I think, I was just going to mention at the very beginning, Dr. Rajan pointed out how this is one of the only network marketing company that is backed by two publicly traded companies. When you mentioned Holista Tech is Dr. Rajan's company.
That's right. And Hang Chang Fei, the chairman of the board,
owned by Chan Heng Fai.
Yeah, he's the chairman of the Singapore e-development company, which owns tens of different companies, a multi-billionaire, and so they co-own iGalen, and obviously part of the reporting requirements on public stock exchanges are that you have to have everything completely compliant and open and transparent. So we will see, that nothing untoward happens with, like some of the companies that have come and gone. One of the recommendations that the chairman made is if you're interested in investing in any of the companies that we're talking about, the one he recommended was the Holista, because of all the amazing research in various foodstuffs and other research efforts that they're putting out. So there you go. You have a tip on the Australian.
And one more thing, John, and what impressed me was what I think Dr. Rajan was really attributing this whole, the companies owned by publicly traded companies, and that there's checks and balances, and the integrity of the company is impeccable. Right. So that and most network marketing companies can't say that, or don't even. They say it, but they don't live by it. So.
Well, unfortunately, we've all had those experiences over the years. Was to inspire us with confidence that these men really care. They have a clear mission, and
exactly,
and a vision of bringing health and healing to millions of people around the world. And Hang Chang Fei says it right out. Listen, you've got to have some wealth in your life to make contributions. So we want you to be wealthy. So
exactly, and it's this is a long term. This company, their goals and their mission is years and years, not short term. Yeah. That's why whatever they come out with is going to be class products that are going to be science-based only and reputed scientists behind it like no one ever in the world has.
Right. Well, that's good, Dave. Good contribution on that score. So then let's shift to some back office changes. Debbie, do you have a list of those?
Yes. Louis came out from the IT department with a couple of his coworkers. And basically, there are 5 changes that they've given us. The first one is that now our customers have an auto ship program. So a customer can have an auto ship, get 10% off of their product by committing to having it come as an auto ship every month. So that's something that a lot of people had been looking for a long time. Now they said that if you already have a customer that's bought from you, you can just give them the website igalen.com/auto ship. I believe that's what it was. And when they place their order, they would have a record of who they'd already purchased from, and so they would be credited to you. The other option, I think, would be to go to the customer, just your registration page, click on customer, and then the customer would be given the option of having an auto ship and getting that 10%. The next thing was something really exciting. They're calling it the 3-for-1 auto ship launch. 3-for-1 auto ship meaning if you have 3 customers, not distributors, but customers on auto ship, your auto ship is free. So, I mean, our auto ship is so minimal with this company anyway, and now it can be free because we're sharing it with people, which we would do anyway. I mean, it's just the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have a prospector app, and that's something from Costa's group. And I haven't looked fully into that yet, but it's a way to integrate. It's like landing pages to use with Facebook, maybe other social media. I'm not sure, but I remember Facebook for sure. And that's available in our back office. If you're at convention, that's already there and ready for you. There are prices, various prices for various levels of using that. And so as far as, getting our word out there and knowing how to have a professional marketing type system, if you don't have something already, this is going to be awesome. Our website, new replicated website, so that's, we've changed somewhat. And then we have an additional bar added to our back office, which is the ranking progress bar. So whatever rank you're at, it will show you what's the next rank and what you need to do to get there, which is really good because, once you achieve something, it's nice to have it right in front of you, like, oh, I only need that many more, or I only need one more step. Oh, and the other thing, going back to the 3-for-1 auto ship, when you go into that, it will already show you. There's 3 they're like little pictures of delivery trucks. And when you have one customer on auto ship, you have one little picture of the delivery truck, lit up. And then when you've got 2, and then you've got 3. So that way, if a customer goes off of auto ship and all of a sudden you go down from having, your 3 little, truck icons lit up to 2, that somebody doesn't have an auto ship, and you can go out and either speak to them or continue speaking to more people. So those were the 5 main features that they mentioned, that Louis mentioned and presented us with a slide for.
Okay. Jim and Dave, do you want to add anything to any of those comments on back office or tools?
No, I think, Deb did a great job.
Yeah, I think Deb covered that well. The one thing we did get promised, no timeline on, was that there was going to be a bullet point explanation for Emulin, so that we're not all inventing our own stories. Right. I think that's a great option.
Right. Very good on that. So let's see, what else? Now, the hotel facility was spectacular. It was in a beautiful setting. It was away from the strip, so it was on a lake. we didn't have a lot of time to leave the meeting rooms or the event facilities, but if you really wanted to get away, you were in a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. The rooms were great, the pricing was reasonable, and everything else that they did was very well organized. There were no snafus. They ran the thing almost like clockwork, on time, and there was a lot of fun. Before almost every session, after the breaks, there'd be some loud music, and unfortunately, it was mostly the women that got up and got up on stage and started dancing. You guys want to see a little video clip of the fun?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'll bring that up. Yeah. So,
Hey, John, didn't you dance too?
I danced on the evening of Saturday, Dave.
Yes.
Not on stage with the girls.
Yes.
I didn't want to scare anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a second. So, what some of you may know that Debbie and I had planned months and months ahead of time to actually travel to Utah and see all the famous Utah national parks, Zion and Bryce and Arches and Canyonlands. And so we did that. And she tired me out, I'll tell you. She's way more fit than I am. But we saw some unbelievable country, didn't we, Debbie?
We did. Amazing. Breathtaking.
My mother's down there shouting at me, I want to go to sleep. I'm busy. It's my life around a 92-year-old dementia mother. Anyway, okay, so look, the video is coming up. Give me a second to bring it up. Oh, here it is. Here.
Are you going in?
Just hold on.
You want in there?
Then, John, I have a couple more points about
Go ahead.
after.
Okay, here we go. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
We will not cut any acres or cut any costs because the vision is long term.
The company had put together a quick 3-minute summary of the whole event by the time we left, and this was it. If you want to see that, I'll play the rest of it, but I was going to actually show you the actual dancing on stage if you'd rather see that. What would you rather see? This or the dancing? Guys, can you hear me? Debbie, do you want to see
girls on?
the what?
Bring the dancing girls on.
Yeah, right. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, hold on. Let's see. How to make. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, that was
There you go.
that was fun.
Okay. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah. You have to pay
What's that, Dave?
at night. You have to pay at night.
What? Sorry, Dave. That was at the end of the event. You know, that little bit of dancing, Dave, and you were filming it, as you saw in that bright green T-shirt. Anyway, so overall, it was a great experience. It was great to meet a whole bunch of new people. And today we had announcements that Brett Gurney had died, and that Mary Beth Yeager had. Whoa, there's a lot of noise.
Sorry, there's lots of static. We can't hear.
Okay, so Mary Beth Yeager had reached Ruby, and also Mary Duffy had reached Ruby. There's probably several other people that have reached
Good. I didn't see
level through the purchases at the event. So that concluded on Sunday. So we have a new diamond, and that's Brett Gurney. Several new rubies. And we got to meet many of the people that we've heard about from Australia, from the Philippines. The Philippines contingent, unfortunately, ran into challenges with visas. Otherwise, there would have been hundreds of them. But the 26 or so that came, they walked away with a good number of the awards for team awards, leadership, master awards. Yeah, Dave got one, I got one, Brett Gurney got one. Several people got some really nice awards. Huh?
I said, congratulations on your Masters Award. I didn't know if you were going to go into what happened on Sunday or not. I was going to definitely mention that.
What happened on Sunday? Oh,
No, that was Saturday night. Yeah,
Saturday
night. Right.
Here's the award.
Beautiful.
Yeah. No,
And Janice said she could hardly hold up her award, like it's glass. It was huge.
Yeah,
I don't know how to get it home.
hers was a beautiful goblet, almost like a vase, all glass, almost like a crystal vase. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. Anyway, any last comments? You know, it's almost 6:45. Let's kind of keep this under an hour. And anybody have any questions for anybody here?
I have two more things.
Go ahead, Debbie. Go for it.
I have two more things regarding the changes with the IT. Talking about the rank progress bar, they've also got a grandfathering option now, where you hit one rank for 1 week each month for 3 consecutive months. You're grandfathered in at that rank, and you will never go lower than that rank. So that's phenomenal. And I think the other one was if you reach that rank 6 months out of a year, you also got grandfathered into that. The other thing that's going to make a lot of people happy, and it wasn't on the slide, I just had it written down in my notes that I noticed after. When we go into the registration packages, we didn't used to be able to choose how many of each product we wanted. It had to be 7 and 3 or 5 and 5. Now the package configuration is up to us. We can get all of one. I mean, that's until we just get Emulin E, because that'll be just one anyway. But until we get that, we do have the option now of putting our own configuration together for those packs. So that's great.
And I think in the future, they'll expand that so that you can mix a package to have some stem cell product and Emulin in the package. So you can have 5 of each rather than just the Emulin, if I'm not mistaken.
That was stated.
Yeah, was it? Okay, there you go. Okay. Yeah, so that's a pretty big advancement for people that, you know, that have limited funds and don't want to have a huge inventory of product until they're ready to establish customers. They can have some of each. Yeah, so that's a very good innovation. Good. Any last questions, comments, you guys?
I have a question, John.
Go ahead, Gail.
Debbie had mentioned that there was some enhancements or changes made to the websites, to the replicated website.
Yeah.
I'm just on mine now. One thing I noticed is your picture is there. Hello, I'm Gail Granger, and different stuff. But on the landing page, now when you click on become a distributor,
Right.
Register account, the only package that it shows is distributor pack, one bottle for $79.95. Is that by design, or are they still working on this?
I'm not sure. Debbie, do you know?
Sorry, I kind of cut out for a bit. My internet cut out, so I didn't quite hear all the question.
When you go to your replicated website and the screen comes up, become a distributor or become a customer. When you click on become a distributor, it just takes you to a selected package, and all that it has there is a distributor pack of one bottle. Is that by design, or is this still being worked on?
I'm sorry, I still didn't hear the part just about, it says, is there a fee? Is that what you're mentioning?
No, Debbie. No, Debbie. When he says that when a person goes to your link to try and sign up as a distributor or a customer, it only gives the option of becoming a distributor and ordering one bottle, as opposed to a customer or the packs.
Well, no, the become a customer and become a distributor are both still there. But when you click on become a distributor, it used to show all the packages to choose from. Now it only shows one bottle and called the distributor pack. So
I'm on the site right now, and when you go to down, you have Emulin C and Emulin.
There's a drop menu there.
And you have the drop menu, add on whatever numbers you want.
Has all of the packs.
Thank you.
You're looking at become a customer?
No, become a distributor.
Well, I don't have that.
Advance to the next stage. Like you have the first page, and then you hit continue.
Yeah.
Continue. You get to choose what you want in your package.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah. And anybody else?
Yeah, I've got a question. I'm hearing kind of conflicting dates on when the Emulin E is going to be available. It says January, and then I'm hearing first quarter. First quarter could mean end of March, or 1st of January.
Well, Ron, obviously none of us can promise a specific date. We're just going with what they said, and they said we want to have it in by January, but it will happen in the first quarter sometime. So we don't have a better date for you at this point, Ron.
I think part of it might have to do with wanting to clear out their inventory of M&C.
Well, it's more than that. It's just making sure that they have sufficient amounts to offer to all the markets simultaneously, because they have Australia and Malaysia and Philippines and North America to deal with at once. So, they've got to be able to distribute everything. And I think they were still waiting on a final Health Canada approval for something. Didn't he say that they still were snagged up on one little thing on the labeling? Yeah, I think I recall saying something like that. No, but it'll be in the first quarter, Ron. And in the meantime, if your C and M are working well for your clients, just proceed apace until the E comes out.
Also, there are two websites. .com/Klamax, KLAMEX.
Under the products, yeah.
And then also agalen.com/Emulin E.
Yeah.
And it gives you a little bit of information there. So that would be on the corporate site, I guess, under.
No, it's under products, Debbie.
Yeah, in the corporate site.
Yeah, right, in the main site, yeah, exactly right.
In the direct link.
Yeah,
And when it goes into Klamax, you get a complete story on the lake and everything. So your customers will be well educated.
Yeah, it's really
Good one.
And a write-up on Dr. Stefano. I mean, this man is amazing. He's got a whole lot of credentials. He was just nominated for a Nobel Prize. So now we are a company with 3 Nobel Prizes between 2 scientists.
Nominations.
Yeah. And he's got this, the published studies. He's a yoga instructor. Apparently he's about 70 years old, and
Really?
he does not look it. So
Oh.
obviously he's a product of his product, I guess, which
Oh,
is
okay.
good. So it was a good little write-up on him there as well.
He's about 5 foot tall, if that.
I think you're giving him credit.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think I have a picture of me next to him.
Yes, I have one too.
Yeah.
He's a very small man compared to a very big man.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, folks, any last comments?
No, I think this has been great, John.
Well, listen, you guys, Galen is coming into the Christmas season. This is the time when you're going to be interacting with many family members. You're going to hear all kinds of stories about health, healing, challenges. This is a great opportunity to share. If you're already on Ditto Talk or Ditto Touch, this is your opportunity to just reach out for people and do what Dory's been talking about, which is tremendously increasing your conversion rate by using that technology to present to people. And I wouldn't be surprised if between now and the end of the year they give us some more promotions, but at this point we don't have any, but just sufficiently to tell people the exciting stories of what's coming, what we already have, your personal story, and the results that you've had and some of your clients have had. So hopefully you'll have a great couple of months to close off the year. And
tomorrow night,
we'll stay in touch by email. And you know how to reach me. You know how to reach Debbie. And
tomorrow night's webinar, John.
that's a wrap for tonight.
Tomorrow night, corporate Zoom call.
Yeah, listen, that's right. At 7 o'clock tomorrow, I've canceled the normal Thursday night call that I would have had with Dr. Rajan and Hank Jang Fei because the corporate call came and superseded me, and I didn't want Rajan to have to repeat the highlights twice. So make sure you get onto that announcement in your email and grab the Zoom link for the call at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. All right, folks, have a great evening and look forward to seeing you soon. Good night. It's a wrap. Okay.